Have you ever felt invisible in your own family? The scent of stale coffee lingers as Mother, aging yet fierce, stands silently by the window. Her eyes, distant but burning with quiet fire, scan the world outside. The soft creak of her old chair echoes her resilience. Beneath that calm surface, a storm brews, a storm of betrayal, neglect, and longing. Does she have the strength to reclaim her dignity before it's too late? Or will the weight of years and family's deceit silence her forever? This is the story of a woman overlooked, dismissed, underestimated. But what's buried can always be found. When betrayal feels final, resilience sparks a new fight. Because even in the shadows of neglect, a woman's true strength can rise. Unstoppable, unbreakable. Her journey from invisibility to empowerment begins now. The scent of stale coffee mixed with the sharp bite of autumn rain as I step onto my porch. The air is crisp, leaves crunch softly beneath my feet, each step stirring memories of afternoons filled with laughter, family dinners, and the warm chaos of my life. But now, those memories feel distant, hollow. Inside, I hear the distant echo of raised voices, angry and harsh. My heart sinks, an unwelcome reminder of recent betrayals I can't ignore. Clutching my cane, I pause, tears welling up as I stare into the fading sunlight. How did I become invisible in my own family? Did they ever see the woman I am? Or has aging, neglect, and broken trust made me vanish? Yet, beneath that ache, a flicker of resilience begins to stir. A quiet fight to prove my strength still remains. Something unseen is awakening inside me, refusing to be dismissed. It's as if the very air around me whispers that my story isn't over yet. Time feels suspended. Inside that sterile room, walls closing in, I'm overwhelmed by loneliness. No family photos adorn the plain walls, no reminders of the life I fought for. Just a bed I didn't choose, a dresser, and an uncomfortable silence. I begged the nurse for a phone, desperate to call Ethan Harris. She looked at me, confused, telling me I'd have to wait for visiting hours. I told her, "He just left." My voice cracked, trembling with hope, or maybe fear. Then she showed me a form, my name, his signature, checkboxes filled with false labels, medical consent, residential admission, observation. I had been committed. I sat on that unfamiliar bed, trembling. Hands folded like in church, I stared at the grim floor, trying to stay strong, but my body betrayed me. Tears seeped down my cheeks. That night I asked the front desk to speak with the administrator, voice trembling, but voice needed to be heard. I told them I wasn't senile. I wasn't dying. Their cold eyes told me I was a ghost. "Your son said you're unsafe on your own," they said. "Confusion spells. Long-term placement." I wanted to scream. Instead, I swallowed the rising rage. I knew screaming would only make them more certain of their lies. 3 days passed in that small, suffocating room. I watched the courtyard through a tiny window. The place looked like a forgotten asylum. Some residents drooled, some yelled into the void. Others just stared, lost in their own worlds. I thought, is this how I'll end? After everything I fought for? After holding back my pain to make sure Ethan Harris had a future? No, not yet. That night, I asked a nurse for a pen and notebook. I needed to write. I told her I liked journaling, maybe to keep my mind from cracking. She smiled kindly, handed me a small spiral pad from the activity closet. I didn't write poetry. I didn't pray. I just needed to hold on, something to anchor me as I fought against the rising tide of loneliness and betrayal. Maybe, just maybe, this was the moment I'd finally take back my voice, reclaim my dignity, and remind them all that I am still here, still strong, still fighting. In the dim glow of a small, overlooked room, I uncovered what they never wanted me to see. Hidden behind a loose panel, I found my stash of documents. Letters, bank statements, photographs, proof of what I knew all along. My eyes, steady and fierce, focused on the fragile stack I was carefully arranging. Each photo, each page was a silent reminder I wasn't invisible. I am not done yet. My enemy, betrayal, my weapon, resilience. Suddenly, the door creaked open. I froze. Expecting Ethan Harris's smug face, I turned. And there he was, smirking, trying to control. But I had a secret. A small, hidden device streaming the whole scene to someone unseen. My eyes flicked to the camera feed, my own eyes filled with quiet defiance. I finally understood. My strength wasn't gone. It had been hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right moment. Today, I was proving that even when overlooked, a woman's spirit can outsmart manipulation, reclaim her dignity, and turn the tables on those who thought I was finished. Lately, I've been feeling invisible, overlooked, betrayed by the very family I fought so hard to protect. Do they see the woman I've become? The one who's weathered every storm, aging but unbowed? As I sat in that cold room, the walls closing in, I clung to a secret I'd buried deep until today. A hidden letter, a faded photograph, proof of Ethan Harris's manipulations, buried for years. And then I remembered that familiar room, the quiet items I'd seen every day, the coffee mug, the old clock, the small piano. But now they felt colder, distant. My fingers trembled as I uncovered the letter from Ethan Harris's past, revealing a lie he'd crafted long ago, a scheme destined to ruin him. Suddenly, the air shifted. A rush of strength filled me. The woman they overlooked was about to become the heroine. Every pawn in their game exposed. Their secrets, my power. What's truly mine, my dignity, my voice, my independence. No more pretending, no more silence. Today, I choose to stand tall, because sometimes the quiet ones are the strongest. And tonight, I'm rewriting my story, one truth at a time. Are you ready to see who I really am? I whisper to myself, feeling that rain-scented breeze outside. The leaf rustle echoes my resolve. It's time to unveil what's been hidden, and, finally, own my future. This isn't just a story about aging, neglect, or family drama. It's about resilience, about how the overlooked can become the hero of their own life. Because real strength isn't loud. It's quiet, strategic, and unstoppable. Now, I see them fall silent, because I hold the proof, and with it, my new beginning. I picture him and Danielle sitting comfortably on my velvet couch, sipping wine they couldn't really afford, bragging about how they inherited a house from some lost, confused old lady. But they didn't inherit anything. They stole it. Now they're about to choke on their greed. The process took just a week. Preliminary hearings, paperwork served at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. I remember Monica's private process server delivering the news. Danielle screamed. Ethan Harris turned ghostly white and slammed the door. I didn't need to see it. Knowing was enough. That evening, my phone buzzed. A number I didn't recognize. I let it ring. Then again and again. Finally, I answered. Mom. Ethan Harris's voice was quiet, almost childlike. We got something in the mail today. Is this real? I didn't respond. He kept talking. You can't be serious. You're going to kick me out of my own house? I took a deep breath. You mean the house you threw me out of? He went silent. I never signed those documents, I said. You forged my name. You froze my accounts. You tried to erase me. That's not what happened, he whispered. I was left in a nursing home with no warning, no clothes. I was lied to, manipulated, illegally robbed. So, yes, I'm serious. Mom listened quietly. Danielle's thoughts? They didn't matter. I was the one she'd never truly cared for, just another piece in her game to elevate her social status. You've let her put me in a box, I told him, before I was even buried. His voice trembled. You're really going through with this? Yes, I said firmly, and you have 30 days to get out. I hung up before he could respond. That night, for the first time in months, I slept peacefully. Monica and I toasted with sparkling cider in paper cups, watching reruns of old game shows. Our quiet victory. It wasn't glamorous. It was mine. My choice. My moment. The next morning, we met with the new owners. The young couple, newly married, bright-eyed looking for their first home. They loved the garden, the arched hallway, the soul of that old house. They saw what I'd always seen, the true worth beneath the neglect. And somehow, standing there, I realized, no matter how battered I'd been, how unseen I felt, I still held the power. Because sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is finally stand up. The warm glow of late afternoon sunlight filters softly through the kitchen window, casting gentle shadows on the well-worn countertop. I can almost hear the distant rain tapping against the glass, the faint rustle of leaves whispering secrets outside. There, a woman, my mother, stands quietly, her hands delicately wiping the faded surface, her mind drifting back to a time when her spirit was unbreakable. The scent of lavender from an oil diffuser mingles with the earthy aroma of bread baking. She pauses, tilting her head, as a flood of memories washes over her. Children's soft laughter muffled by the walls, her husband's reassuring touch, moments of genuine happiness long buried under years of neglect and betrayal. Her eyes soften with love and longing, yet in that silence there's a resilience that refuses to fade. She's overlooked, underestimated, but she's still standing. Because sometimes, strength is quietly holding on, even when no one's watching. This is her story, her silent battle to reclaim dignity, to prove she's more than aging or overlooked. She's a survivor. The late afternoon sun cast a warm, amber glow over my porch. I clutched the railing, feeling the fragile strength of my independence. A delicate rose in full bloom. The scent of rain lingered in the air, mingling with the faint rustle of leaves outside. Inside, the hum of activity masked undercurrents, whispering secrets beneath the surface. A muffled voice, unfamiliar yet somehow threatening, seeped from the back door, and I froze. Doubt flickered across my eyes. Who's really watching? What's about to be uncovered behind this quiet suburban mask? The shadows lengthen as footsteps approach, familiar but untrustworthy. I stand there, heart pounding, clutching my dignity like a fragile jewel. The air feels thick. Suddenly, a voice breaks the silence, sharp and unexpected. I tighten my grip. The story's about to change. But who's really in control? And what will the truth reveal in this quiet neighborhood? I wait, shadows stretching, secrets ready to surface. In the quiet corner of her own life, a woman stands resilient, overlooked yet unbreakable. Our hero, Mother, has spent years feeling betrayed by her family. Her own children, Ethan and Danielle, pull strings from behind smiling faces. Ethan, well-meaning but manipulative, tries to control her care, driven by pressure and hidden agendas. Danielle, pretending to care, subtly undermines her independence, all to climb a social ladder that doesn't include her. Meanwhile, outside her door, a storm brews. Tension thickens as shadows flicker behind closed doors. One day, as Mother confronts her family about her fading independence, a sudden loud thud echoes from the basement. Shadows dance behind the heavy door. Her eyes widen, fear, defiance, fighting to stay strong. Her heart pounds like thunder. Will she find an ally in the darkness? Or will betrayal emerge from the shadows? The truth hangs trembling. What's lurking beneath this perfect facade? Who will stand with her when everything unravels? The battle for dignity is about to reach its breaking point. I remember the warmth of my grandmother's hands, pressing a cold glass of lemonade into mine on a blazing summer day. The scent of freshly cut grass filled the air, mixed with the sweet aroma of baking cookies. Her gentle voice told stories of resilience, of standing tall even when times get tough. I could still feel the sun on my face, her proud eyes watching me as if I was the most important thing in the world. Even when I felt invisible, she saw me. That moment taught me that true strength is rooted in love, quiet, fierce, and unbreakable. Now, in the silence that follows, I cling to her memory. I fight to be seen, to be understood again. Because behind every facade, beneath every struggle, there's a story of resilience. And sometimes it takes a whisper of hope, a flicker of light, to remind us who we truly are. In this quiet neighborhood, secrets hide behind smiling faces. My mother, my hero, has spent years feeling betrayed by her own family. Her children, Ethan and Danielle, pull strings from behind those same smiles. Ethan, well-meaning but deceptive, tries to control her care, driven by pressure and hidden agendas. Danielle, pretending concern, subtly chips away at her independence, all to climb a social ladder she believes leads to happiness. Meanwhile, outside her door, tension thickens. Shadows dance behind closed curtains. One day, she confronts her family, questioning her fading independence. Suddenly, a loud thud echoes from the basement. The sound vibrates through her bones. Shadows flicker behind the heavy door. Her eyes widen. Fear. Defiance. She fights to stay strong. Her heart pounds like thunder. Will she find an ally in the darkness, or is betrayal waiting in the shadows? The truth trembles beneath the surface. What's really hidden behind the perfect curtain? Who will stand with her when everything cracks? This is a battle for dignity, a fight to be seen. Because even when the world overlooks you, resilience quietly rises, waiting for its moment to break through. I've watched my mother struggle for years, ignored, underestimated, betrayed. The house is quiet now, just the creak of old timber settling as evening falls. I hear her body language before her words, pointing, pacing, frustration echoing in her silence. From my porch I witness the storms she's endured, her resilience softly fighting through the chaos. This isn't gloating, it's witnessing the quiet strength that's carried her all her life. Weeks later, Tyler appears again, tending to the garden. He's a kid caught in the middle, seeking comfort amidst the chaos. He whispers about their plans. Mom wants to leave for Texas. Dad hesitates, uncertain. I listen, nodding. Inside, I pull out the battered notebook I've kept. My plans, their secrets, the truth I've hidden. I write one final sentence. They thought they buried me. They didn't know I was a seed. I close it, knowing my fight isn't over. 2 weeks pass. The "for sale" sign is gone. But not because the house was sold. Danielle has left, rush driving away with her trunk full of illusions. No goodbyes, no regrets, just her absence. Ethan Harris remains outside, silent as the night swallows him. I consider saying something, offering a piece of the truth he's avoided, but I realize some battles aren't mine to fight. That night, Tyler knocks, voice tentative. He simply says, "She left. She didn't even say goodbye." In that moment, I understand. Sometimes strength is not loud. It's knowing when to stand still, when to wait, and when to fight anew. And I promise, I will. In the dim glow of her living room, she sits alone, her fingers trembling as she clutches a faded family photo. Shadows stretch long across the walls, and outside muffled voices escalate, urgent, tense. A sudden loud thud echoes from the back door. Her heart skips. She reaches for her cane, hesitant, eyes darting nervously. What's coming through that door? Has her secret finally been uncovered? Can she withstand this confrontation, or will her independence shatter forever? The air thickens with unspoken fears. Silence settles heavy. The question lingers. What will she do when the truth finally breaks free? She's been overlooked for years, ignored, underestimated, betrayed by those she loves most. Now, alone in her house, every creak seems to whisper her worth. She's fought to stay strong, trying to prove her resilience despite aging, despite the neglect. Her mind races. Who is coming? Why now? Her pulse pounds like thunder in her chest. As the shadows lengthen, she faces a choice: stand her ground or surrender everything. Outside, the world is restless. Inside, the silence presses in. Every heartbeat feels amplified. The tension is almost unbearable, until a voice calls out from the darkness, tentative, fragile. The night holds its breath. What will she do when the door finally opens? Will her strength carry her through, or will everything she's fought for be lost in a moment? And in that breathless pause, one thing is certain: her story isn't over yet. The truth waits just beyond the shadows, ready to burst free. Will she find the courage to face what's coming, or will the cracks in her defenses finally break her? The answer hangs in the air, haunting, unresolved. Just one more step, one more breath, then we'll see what happens next. I remember sitting on the porch, a gentle breeze ruffling the leaves, the scent of rain lingering in the air. The sun was setting, casting warm amber glow across the yard. Inside, a heaviness pressed down, like everyone had forgotten I was even here. My mind flashes back, the laughter of my children, now replaced by silence, the years slipping past like shadowed clouds. I fought to hold on to my dignity every single day. Who's even noticed? Who really sees me? Age has crept up silently, but my spirit still fights. Outside, the world races ahead. Inside, I feel invisible, yet I stay. Every creak in this old house feels like a reminder. Am I still worth fighting for? That night I heard footsteps at the door, a sudden thud. My heart jumped. Who's coming now? I grabbed my cane, eyes darting nervously. Was this the moment my secrets would be uncovered? Could I stand strong through whatever was waiting? Years of being overlooked and betrayed by those I loved most weigh heavy. I've been told I'm too old, too weak. Somehow, I still refuse to let go of my independence. My mind races. Why now? What do they want from me? My pulse pounds like thunder. I face the darkness, trembling but determined. Will I surrender everything, or find the courage to fight again? The silence inside presses harder, every heartbeat echoing loud. Then, from the shadows, a voice, fragile, hesitant, calls out. The night holds its breath. What happens when I open that door? Will I stand firm, or finally break? Here's the truth. My story isn't finished yet. The shadows hide the secrets I've kept inside, ready to come to light. Do I have the strength to face what's coming, or will the cracks in my defenses finally shatter me? The air is thick with tension, a quiet emptiness that screams. Just one more step, one more breath. Then we'll find out what comes next. And I know, deep in my soul, that I'm still fighting, that my independence, my dignity, is worth everything. No matter what shadows lurk, my story will be told. That weekend, I went to the community center and dropped off a check, $10,000. Anonymous donation. I didn't want credit. It was for their new senior outreach program. A friend told me they were trying to expand rideshare services for elders who lived alone, because I knew I wasn't the only one who had been made to feel like dead weight in their own family. I wanted to make sure no one else would be thrown away as easily as I was. Tyler helped me deliver it. "Why don't you put your name on it?" he asked. "Because the people who need it don't care who gave it. They just need to know someone did." He nodded thoughtfully. That Sunday, Ethan Harris came to my porch. I was baking sweet potato pie. The smell must have drawn him out. He stood there for a long time before knocking. I opened the door, wiped my hands on a towel, and waited. He looked different, tired, like someone who hadn't slept well in weeks. "I wanted to talk," he said. I stepped outside but didn't invite him in. He looked down at the porch floor. "Danielle's not coming back." I said nothing. I tried to fix things, but everything fell apart. So, I said nothing. Then he looked up at me, and for the first time in a long time, I saw the boy I used to know hiding somewhere behind those broken eyes. I messed up, Mama. The words fell like bricks. I thought I was doing the right thing. I don't know. I got scared. I didn't want to lose everything trying to take care of you. You didn't take care of me, I said, quiet but sharp. You got rid of me. He nodded slowly, guilt swelling behind his eyes. I was wrong. There was. Finally I waited, then said, and now I don't expect anything. I just wanted to say it. I took a deep breath. You thought you could bury me, Ethan Harris, I said, but you didn't know what I had left in me. You forgot what I gave up to build that house to raise you to keep your lights on, to put food on your table. He looked down again. I didn't forget, he whispered. I tried to rewrite the ending, and I was wrong. The porch light flickered softly in the dim evening as Mother stood silent, her eyes fixed on the flickering street lamp across the street. The scent of rain lingered in the air, mixed with the faint aroma of baked sweet potato pie. Her hands trembled slightly, but her face was set with unyielding resolve. Yet beneath that strength a flicker of doubt danced quietly. Suddenly, a noise broke the stillness, an unexpected rustle in the darkness. Her heart pounded harder. Was it her son, Ethan, sneaking around with another hidden motive, or someone else entirely? The shadows seemed to press closer, thick with unspoken secrets as her pulse raced. What will she discover in this fragile family game? What secrets lie waiting, lurking just beyond her reach? The night holds its breath, suspense hanging heavy in the air. Her next move could change everything, or shatter it all. Inside, the house was filled with the warm smell of sweet potato pie, a symbol of her resilience. She carefully set the table for two, knowing she'd been overlooked, underestimated her whole life. Her story is one of perseverance, fighting to keep her independence while feeling betrayed by those she loved. As Tyler, her grandson, descended the stairs, she looked at him with quiet pride. Had that been him at the door earlier? She nodded silently, his eyes bright with hope. What did he say? Nothing, but she knew in her heart. Peace had to come, not from reconciliation, but from boundaries crafted with care. The silence settled between them, unspoken yet powerful. Outside, Ethan sat alone on his porch again, no longer seeking her apology but accepting her strength. She let him. Peace, once reclaimed, is something she refuses to surrender again. Sometimes the ending we expect fades, replaced by something nobler. She never imagined she'd spend her last years living beside her son after betrayal, or raising her grandson once more. She never guessed that peace would arrive not through apologies, but through boundaries that protect her dignity. Ethan never left the neighborhood, even after Danielle packed her car and disappeared back to Texas. Maybe guilt held him there, or shame. Perhaps he believed proximity could fix what's broken, but she knew better. She longed for distance with meaning, space to breathe, to heal. He made fleeting attempts to visit, knocking, a wave, a hesitant call. She kept interactions brief and guarded, because she had already weathered the storm, and she wasn't about to let the chaos back in. Tyler found his rhythm, calling her our place now. His grades improved, his spirit brighter. He even asked about growing tomatoes next season. Of course, they could. Nothing or no one would uproot their newfound peace. One morning, a letter arrived, certified from her lawyer, Monica Reeves. What does it say? The story is still unfolding. What secrets will be revealed next? And what will she decide? Continue fighting or take another path? The night still holds its secrets, waiting. But one thing is clear. Her strength remains unbroken, and her story is far from over. Inside was the final draft of my will, neatly written, fully notarized, updated to reflect exactly what I wanted. Ethan Harris got nothing, not a penny. The house I now lived in, willed to Tyler when he turns 21. Until then, a trust fund would cover his education, living expenses, and anything else he needed to find his footing. The rest of my estate, every bit of retirement savings, sale profits, and old insurance money would go to a fund I helped launch through the community center, the Mayfield Legacy Grant. It would help older women in crisis, women discarded by the very children they raised, women who needed just one more hand to pull them back into dignity. I'd already made the first donation, $50,000. I didn't tell Ethan Harris about the will. I didn't have to. He found out on his own 2 months later when he asked Monica for a copy of the estate plan just to be informed. She told him with a smile that he wasn't included. He called me that night. "Mom," he said, voice tight. "Is this real?" "Yes, you're cutting me out completely." "No," I said. "You did that all by yourself years ago when you signed me away like luggage and sold my things before I was even cold." He was silent. I continued. In the quiet stillness of her small, dimly lit living room, she stands tall amid scattered family photos, unwashed dishes, and the scent of rain lingering in the air. Her eyes shine with quiet resilience, a reflection of years of hidden strength. Her trembling hands tighten into fists as the words echo from the voices of her son and daughter-in-law, words filled with false concern, manipulation, and the weight of betrayal. For a moment, her breath catches. Then, with a fierce surge of courage, she raises her voice. It cuts through the silence, loud and unwavering, a yell born from years of suppressed pain and quiet dignity. The room falls utterly silent. Her family's eyes widen, feeling the gravity of her strength, a spark of liberation igniting in her gaze. They see her not as they once did, but as someone who refuses to be overlooked anymore. In that moment, she claims her voice, her independence. The pain that once threatened to swallow her now fuels her fierce resolve, because no matter what they think, they can't silence her anymore, and she's only just getting started.